Hi guys, welcome to day 2 of standard angles in different positions. So last class period what we talked about is we talked about how to draw angles in standard position and what that looks like, knowing that you have an initial side that's always on the x-axis and the terminal side that moves. It's important to have the arrow right here to tell me whether it's positive or negative. So that's what we did last class period. And then we also talked about coterminal angles. Coterminal angles, a positive coterminal angle is adding 360 until you get a positive number. A negative coterminal angle is subtracting 360. So terminal angle is the same on all coterminal angles, and they all have the initial side, and the measurement is different. So what we're going to do today is we're going to find degree and radian measurement. So we all know degree measurement, but on our calculators last week, I was always telling you, make sure it says degree, make sure it says degree. The reason being, if it's at RAD, that means it's in radian measurement. So it's a different type of measurement, kind of like meters and feet. The answer is going to be different, but when you look at it on the graph, it does mean the same thing. We will investigate what radian measurement means when we start talking about the unit circle, but for today, we're just going to go back and forth between the two. Just a reminder, if you have not done so yet, this Thursday we will have a retake on Unit 6. I sent information to you guys through your email in a Google form. Make sure you sign up before the 30th so I know you're ready to go. Let's get started with today's lesson. So how can you find the measurement of an angle in radians? Again, just like meters and feet, it's just a different unit of measurement, and we'll be getting our calculators in both, and we'll learn how to do that as well. So, very straightforward lesson today. Here is how you convert from radians to degrees and degrees to radians. So to convert from degrees to radians, what you do is you multiply by pi over 180. To convert radians to degrees, what you do is you multiply it by 180 over pi. You always simplify down the fraction as much as possible, and you always leave pi in the answer when it comes to going to radians, okay? And you always eliminate the pi, obviously, when you're going from radians to degrees, okay? So let's just quickly practice one of these here. So let's say I have 30 degrees, and I want to change 30 degrees to radians. So what I'm going to do is make that a fraction and times that by pi over 180. Going back to rational functions earlier this semester, I am going to simplify that, cross-simplifying. This simplifies to 1 and this simplifies to 6 because 30 goes into 31 time and 30 goes into 180 6 times. So then I'm going to multiply straight across and I get pi over 6 and I'm done. So 30 degrees is the same thing as pi over 6 in radian measurement. Let's do the opposite. Let's change a radian measurement to a degree. So let's say I have pi over 2. And I want to change that to radians. So I'm going to multiply it by 180 over pi. Okay. Again, I'm going to cross simplify. I think that's really important to always do. So the pi's are always going to cancel. Whenever you're going radians to degrees, your pi should cancel. This is going to go to 1. This is going to go to 90. So pi over 2 is the same thing as 90 degrees. Okay. These are both measurements that are on the unit circle, which we'll talk about in the next coming weeks. Really important numbers to have memorized. So that is how you convert radians to degrees. If you look down here, the next few slides, I have a couple more examples of how to do it. You can kind of go through and kind of figure out radians to degree measurement. These are examples of unit circles measurements that we're going to talk about again next week. But if you want some extra practice, definitely do it. As you notice, 90 is on here, so we know it is 90 is pi over 2. Okay? And we also know that 30 is pi over 6. Okay? So we've actually figured out some of those, but that's always good practice just to work converting back and forth between measurements, because these 3 slides here we'll talk more about when we get to unit circles. So let's do 2 more examples, and then that's our lesson for today. Pretty straightforward, pretty short. So I have 120 and I want to multiply it and get it to become radians. So I know I need a pi, so I'm going to change it to a fraction, and I'm going to multiply by pi over 180. Well, some people might be like, you know what, I don't know what simplifies between 180 and 120. That's fine. You can cross simplify in the beginning or multiply straight across and then simplify the number. So do 120 divided by 180 and you get 2/3. So 120 pi is same thing as, or 120 degrees, same thing as 2 pi over 3. Okay. And then the last one we're going to do, let's say I have negative pi over 120, or 12, I'm sorry. So I'm going to multiply that by 180 over pi. The pi's are going to cancel, but this is going to cancel the negative 1. And then I look, and again, I can just multiply across and get negative 180 over 12. Perfectly fine to do that. And then I would do negative 180 divided by 12, and that would give me negative 15. So negative 15 degrees. Okay. So that's the unit for today, just going over radians and degree measurement and flip-flopping between the two. That will come again more into play when we start talking about unit circle. Have a great day, guys. Hope to see you on Zoom.